Hi and welcome to episode number 632 with whatsforchow.com. In today's episode we're going to make an easy lacto-fermented hot sauce, similar to everyone's favorite Tabasco sauce. The process can take up to 2 weeks depending on the ambient temperature, so let's get started. Start with 700 grams of hot peppers. I've trimmed the stem ends off and discarded these. You can use any peppers you like. These are bird's eye chilies, but if you want your homemade Tabasco to be as close to the original as possible, then use Tabasco peppers. Place the peppers in your food processor and pulse them until medium fine. Depending on the size of your processor, you may have to do this in batches. Transfer the chopped peppers to a food-grade container. Measure 6 tablespoons of non-iodated salt and dissolve these in 6 cups or 1.5 liters of water to make the brine. Pour the brine over the chopped peppers. Place a plate over the mixture to keep the peppers submerged. Loosely cover the container with the lid and place this in a warm, shady place to ferment. The ideal fermentation temperature is between 28 and 32 Celsius. The fermentation will take 10 to 14 days under perfect conditions. It's been about 14 days and here is our fermented chili. Smells strongly of vinegar and chili, no surprise. All the bubbling has stopped, which means the fermentation has come to an end and time to continue. From this point you have a couple of choices. You can simply pop this in your liquidizer and zap it until reasonably fine and use it as is. However, we're going to aim more for the Tabasco style with no chunks, a simple vinegar chili sauce, which means that we're going to strain this and reserve the liquid and then pass the solids through a masticating juicer to extract as much of the solid pulp as possible. Place a sieve over a large bowl and pour the liquid and the solids into the sieve. We're going to leave that for about 5 minutes to drain and then pass it through the juicer. Okay, the juicer is set up. And now we're going to run the chili pulp from the fermentation through the juicer, and you'll see the amount of juice left in this pulp is tremendous, and that's actually where most of the flavor is sitting at the moment. In the Tabasco factory they actually take all of the chili, all of the fermented chili, including the liquid. They add the vinegar and place it into a large bath where it gets stirred for 2 weeks until all the solids actually dissolve into the liquids. We don't have 2 weeks, however, and I don't have a big bath with a stirrer. So this is the next best option, to extract as much from the pulp as possible. Okay, that's the end of the juicing. Let's just let the last couple of drips dribble out, and you'll notice that there's a considerable amount of juice, and it is a lot thicker than the juice that's strained from the fermentation. We're now going to take this and it's going to get mixed with that very same juice, with the thinner juice. I'd just like to add, if you don't have a juicer, then you can take the pulp. Once you've fermented the chilies, take the chili pulp that's been strained, put it in a lining of muslin, and squeeze out the juice as much as you possibly can. This is not going to be as effective as using a juicer, but you will get a good result. Now, just to demonstrate, this is the juice that was strained from the fermentation, and this is still going to get used, but notice how much thicker this juice is that was pressed. Now this is going to be added to that juice from the fermentation to thicken it. That is wonderful. Look at that. I'm going to grab that. In it goes. Give it a good stir. And we're almost finished. Just a couple more steps. At this stage, what we have is a sauce with a beautiful color. It is nice and watery, but still too thick to be Tabasco. What we're going to do is add 200 mils. We've got 2 liters of juice. 2 liters of juice here. We're going to add 200 mils of white wine vinegar. Now, from batch to batch, this 200 ml quantity may change slightly. It may vary, so go by taste. 200 mils is a good starting point. Then give it a taste. If it's not quite vinegary enough, add some more. Also, at this stage, this sauce is way hotter than Tabasco, so I think we need to add a little bit more vinegar to temper that, remembering as well that there is going to be a bit of sugar added in the next step, which does temper some of the burn. Okay, so we've got another 100 mils of the white wine vinegar. Let's mix that in and give it a small taste. That's about right. Excellent. In the next and final step, we're going to add a half a tablespoon or 7.5 mils of sugar to a tall jug. To this, we're going to add 500 mils of the sauce and 2.5 mils xanthan powder, well, xanthan gum actually. This is a miracle thickener. It will keep any solids in the solution suspended so that you won't get any settling to the bottom of the mixture. So let's go ahead. You'll see that it has thickened noticeably, maybe not quite enough, so we're going to add another 2.5 mils. And once again, different batches of chilies will have different results, so you need to do this more by feel than by measurement. You really want it to be able to and there it's coating the blender head very nicely. That is perfect. And there we have it. A perfect Tabasco sauce copy. That's it for today, folks. Please like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you again in a couple of days.